fantastic, a rousing, rip-roaring blaze of thrills. It's like... Hey guys, welcome to episode 4. This time we are looking at the Blade movies.
Which I'm delighted about.
Yeah. So I need to stop Darren from talking about this for 20 minutes because...
yeah, we'll try and cut this video down a little bit.
right in his genre. So, obviously, going to start with Blade, the original, 1998.
1998, wow.
And with this movie, it's only happened to me, I think, about twice in my life. I went to the cinema to see this, but whatever movie we were going to see with my friends, it was sold out, and we were just like, oh, we'll just go see Wesley Snipes' new action movie. I had no idea what it was about. And when the blood started coming out of the sprinklers at the start, I was like, what the hell is this movie? And it was such an amazing...
That opening scene in general is, in my opinion, one of the best opening scenes of any movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And then, like, the action sequences in this movie, the fight scenes are brilliant.
Which Wesley Snipes himself choreographed a lot. He was very heavily involved in all that choreography. Yeah.
And then the cool weapons that were in, like, remember he threw the blade and went around in a circle and he caught it again. That scene was class. And then the story went on for the mythology behind the one that the more powerful, which was the Day Walker.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like. Was Stephen Dorff?
Stephen Dorff.
Yeah. He did a really good job in that movie.
Oh, he's amazing. Yeah, such a good actor. And I mean, it was like R-rated or 18s, you know, and it basically kicked off the franchise of the movie world as we know it, as regards X-Men and stuff like that. I know Howard the Duck was the first Marvel officially, but
the other thing about this movie was that Marvel were about to go bankrupt. And then the last ditch attempt at saving their company was the release of this movie. And this movie saved Marvel from going bankrupt totally, which then we wouldn't have had the MCU, which obviously is a big part of the last 20 years of film, you know. So it's pretty cool that this movie was the thing that saved Marvel from bankruptcy.
One of my top cinema experiences, just for the sheer joy that I did not know what was coming. So on to Blade 2, which was 2002.
2002.
Yeah.
I thought this movie was brilliant. The script was class. The whole dynamics between, like, the leader of the vampire clan and, like, he was the one that was creating this category of vampire, with the blood alternation and all that.
Well, Guillermo del Toro, like, was the director of it, and he brought the vision of the Reapers, where it was vampires killing other vampires. That was all his creation.
I thought that was really good. I thought they delved really well into, like, the vampire lore and that, and it was brilliant. I thought really good.
Did it outdo the first one?
I think on par.
In my opinion, it did outdo it, because I think Guillermo had that vision and he just brought it, you know, to a new
visually
level.
Yes,
you know?
Visually I thought it was way better, but for nostalgia, I've just Blade 1 just holds up really well against it, and I think the two are on equals for me.
I was just reading the tagline on the Blade 1 DVD: fast, funky, fun, fantastic, a rousing, rip-roaring blaze of thrills. It's like, wow. There's some description. But yeah, just everything from the costume design, the set design, the production design, everything.
You mentioned the costume design, the crew of vampires that went alongside Blade in this movie. They were so, like,
caricatures of
maybe like S&M.
Hellraiser vibes. And you have a prop from the movie on the table. We should acknowledge.
This is a movie replica of a sword. It doesn't obviously have the hilt that splatters your hand into 1,000 pieces, but it's pretty cool.
I love Whistler in the movie.
Brilliant actor, brilliant character, and brilliant actor.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah, amazing. And then that brings us on swiftly to Blade Trinity 2004.
Yeah, wrapped up the trilogy. Obviously you're gonna go with the king of all vampires, which is Dracula. So it was a good concept to finish off the trilogy, I think, but it just don't feel like it was executed.
But it was a nightmare shoot, as everyone pretty much knows. You know, it just Wesley was very difficult on set. He famously refused to open his eyes
Which I think is
in
mad.
scenes, and they had to CGI his eyes open, and he'd only communicate with the director through post-it notes apparently,
and then him and Ryan Reynolds, famously, obviously we knew that from recent chats in online, but like him and Ryan Reynolds just did not get along.
And actually, is his name Pat Oswalt, that actor, you know, from King of the Hill? He's come out in recent times to say what a nightmare.
Oh, nightmare of on set was.
What Wesley Snipes was, yeah.
The other thing about Ryan Reynolds in this movie was that he played a character very similar to Deadpool, and I think that was kind of what triggered his journey to go full tilt to try and get a Deadpool movie. So it kind of started off with Blade Trinity, and then obviously it went on with X-Men or Wolverine Origins, where he played that version of Deadpool. But
when was the last time you watched this?
2-3 weeks ago.
Seriously? And did you enjoy it?
I watched the whole trilogy on Netflix at the minute. So
yeah, and usually they're all 18s as well, so they kept it R-rated.
Gore because the decapitations, blood, anything I think with blood is
yes, but if you look at sequels as they go on and they're making loads of money, they bring it down to 12s and PG because they think they can make more money that way. So interestingly, they all stayed 18s. Yeah, it's been a while since I've watched the third one. I've watched the two. Yeah, no, but I haven't watched this one.
I'm one person, when I start off something, I kind of have to just finish it out, no matter how bad the movies get as they go on.
And the new one, what's happening?
Well, obviously we've seen Wesley Snipes return in Deadpool and Wolverine, which was a really good movie, and I felt that he did a really good job returning as like an old man Blade, and Ali was contracted to do the Blade movie, which has now been cancelled indefinitely. But I think the writer of the 3 movies has come out very recently and said that he is very willing to do the script for a really good Blade movie for the MCU.
Well, a lot of people are calling for Ryan Coogler to do a Blade movie now after Sinners.
Oh,
yeah. There's a lot of talk saying that he'd be the perfect.
Yeah.
With Michael B. Jordan as Blade.
I would totally sign up for that, but Michael B. Jordan did play Killmonger in Black Panther, so for the MCU and continuity, it would be hard for them. But they could do like a variant from a different universe or something. But like, yeah, I feel like if they do a Blade movie, they're gonna have to do it right, because if it's not right and it doesn't live up to the standards of the first 2, then I feel like it'll just be a massive flop.
So with the new fans of all the Marvel stuff, surprisingly, a lot have not seen Blade. So if you haven't and you like that world, definitely dive into at least the first 2.
At least the first 2. And if you're one person like me, you have to finish out a franchise, then yeah, watch Blade Trinity. Dracula was played by Irishman from a local area of Cooley. His mother's from Cooley.
There you go.
There you go.